Almost all mobility, pain, tension, and movement problems boil down to addressing 4 common issues. We're going to go over what those are, and I'll give you the best exercise that I've come across in my 13 years as a physical therapist and coach to fix them. The first happens when muscles on the front and back of the body get tight. What this does is it creates a squeezing force on our body. Now this makes us more stable because you see I get wider, which you kind of need that to stay upright. But the problem is your ability to rotate gets reduced. To fix this, we have to create a squeezing force in the opposite direction. This can loosen up muscles on the front and the back and improve our rotation. To do this, all you need is a weight and the ground. Lie on your side with your bottom leg straight and your bottom arm out in front of you. Your top leg is going to be at about 70 degrees of hip flexion with the foot on the ground and the knee up. Grab a weight and reach it towards the ceiling, making sure your knuckles are facing the air. Roll over so your zipper and your chest are parallel to the ground. Glance up at the weight. Hold this position doing a slow 5-count breath in through the nose and a soft 5-count breath out through the mouth, only moving about 75% of a maximal inhale or exhale. Stay in this position for 3 to 4 sets of 60 seconds per side. Now you might have opened up mobility so you're able to rotate, but that won't do piddly diddly if you're moving with too much tension. Look at the best movers in any sport. They look so effortless when they're doing their craft. And the reason is because they've mastered the ability to only apply force at the right moment. Otherwise, they're chilling like Bob Dylan. This allows them to access positions that mere mortals like us might not be able to get into, and they can better rely on the stretch shortening cycle, that elastic effect in our bodies that allows us to move wicked fast. You need that if you want to produce force. But the problem is most people create too much tension when they move. Imagine going to a high school track meet and watching the kids who are slow try as hard as they can, or try to dance while you're being super tense. You can't move well. You need to learn how to move without working so hard. You can practice this by lying on your side with your head resting on a couple pillows or pads. Place a foam roller between your shins with your hips at less than 90 degrees. Your arms will be atop one another. You're gonna nasal breathe quietly during this movement, slow 5-count in through the nose, and a soft 5-count out through the mouth, keeping it chill. Start the movement by sliding your top arm across your bottom arm and then your chest. What you'll notice is your trunk will begin to roll backwards, and then your middle back, then your lower back, then your hips, and then your knee. You want to stop the movement as soon as your knee stops rolling backwards. You start to feel a stretch or tension. If you notice that your trunk goes way far back, but your hips stop moving, you've gone too far, kid. You'll return to the start position by initiating the roll, this time with the knee. Roll the knee forward, then the hips, then the low back, then the mid, and the upper, then the arm. Think about moving one segment at a time with as little effort as possible. You should feel nothing like I do sometimes. Perform this roll for 2 to 5 minutes per side. Now moving flowy and chill is one thing, but you also have to be able to produce force. And there's one issue that you might be dealing with right now that is limiting your ability to do that. Quick, without thinking, where's your weight at on your feet? See, a lot of people either keep their weight on the outside of their foot or near the toes. These are ways of shifting your weight forward. Now this is useful because it allows you to put force in the ground so you don't fall, but there's a problem. When you shift your weight forward, it limits your ability to rotate. It's no different than if you've ever seen those people who wrestle alligators. They pull the alligator into extension so the alligator can't do the death roll. So the fix is to shift your weight back by finding the heels and opening up the back of the hips and the trunk. You can practice this by getting in a squat position up against the wall. Be about 2 foot lengths away, making sure that your waistband area is resting up against the wall. Feet are hip width apart and weight is heavier on the heels, but the foot should stay flat. Squat down about 1/4 or halfway. Keep the eyes straight ahead and bring your arms up with your elbows bent. It should look like prom night when you're holding that jacket over your shoulder, being all classy. Take a slow 5-count breath in through the nose and a soft 5-count exhale through the mouth, only moving 75% of your air. During the exhale, use your feet to push your weight backwards, almost like you're pulling on a sled and walking backwards. What will happen is you'll notice that your lower back begins to flatten against the wall and your quads start cooking. Stay in this position for 3 to 4 sets of 60 seconds. And if you want to really kick it up a notch and master the ability of shifting the weight back, work up to a 5-minute hold. And yes, you get a license to swear at me when you get to minute 5. Just because you shifted your weight backwards doesn't mean you automatically are the king or queen of rotation. You need to relearn how to rotate smoothly and efficiently. Now, this is where I use 2 movements to address this problem. One more lower body focused and the other more upper body focused. Split squats are great for the lower body component. You'll want to do this with a front foot elevation, meaning your front foot should be on a higher box. Make sure the knees are soft and your weight is shifted a little bit backwards so you're heel heavy. Grab a weight and place it in the opposite hand. Looking straight ahead, you're gonna inhale through the nose and drop straight down about 3/4 of the way, staying heavy on the front leg. Exhale and come back up without locking the knees. As you do this, you'll notice that your hips naturally rotate towards the front leg on the way down and away on the way up. Try this move for 2 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps. And if by some chance that's too easy, you can do a bottoms up split squat hold and proceed to hate life. This time you're gonna start in half kneeling. Again, weight will be heavy on the front leg. Barely come up off the ground and use some sort of pull to support you. You will feel your quads and glutes cooking. You can work up to holding this for 3 to 4 sets of 60 seconds per side. For the upper body component, all you need is a bar. Grip the bar, making sure you wrap your thumb around it and hang. Start this with your feet resting on a box. You're gonna sag down, making sure to keep your grasp. You can then just breathe normally in through the nose and out through the mouth. And you can start by moving and swinging your body side to side. You can also do this from a rotational standpoint by swinging your trunk forward and backwards. Both of these are gonna loosen up muscles in the trunk, which is gonna improve your overall rotational mobility up in that region. I like doing 2 to 4 sets of 5 to 10 swings or rotations per side. You can up the difficulty by removing the box and hanging with your legs straight. You can do the same swings or the same rotations. And if you really want to kick it up a notch, Emeril Lagasse style, this eventually transitions into climbing with monkey bars. When you have the ability to let go and get a nice swing from one arm to the other, your body has to do a significant amount of rotation while also producing force by hanging on to the bar. If you can do this and keep a firm grasp while staying flowy as possible, no one will mess with you. But really, the best exercises for everyone are specific to your individual needs. And that's why you should check out this video right here, because you can build on these exercises by doing a full self-body assessment to address your specific limitations.